That's a first. Hey, moving on up. Guys, what's up? Let's check the chat. I got the chat over here. We got Limestone, what's up? We've got Hellcat, Wonderlust, Ransom, Connie, Sissy's in here. Dead Serious, what's up, everybody? So, I'm kind of on a time limit. And I'm watching on, you may have just hit an advertisement. So I'm sorry, but I'll go ahead and talk about this. Now we can skip it. I'm on my other channel that don't have premium. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on with the Warrens museum and everything that's kind of happening. In the media, it's kind of blown over just a hair. A lot of people in the paranormal community are very upset. There's a lot of people that are coming out and having opinions. I have devoted a lot of my time to researching exactly what's happening. I've read the full website. I've watched pretty much all the lives. I have all the updates. I'm a Patreon member of TFIL for that very reason right now, specifically. And I know everybody has an opinion, okay? And I've been teaching about haunted objects for a long time. And I respect everybody's opinion, but, we are people, and in a time of such and things have been happening in the world that I shall not touch, it's important to embrace people for who they are. And if you're not very happy with it, then you know where the door is. That's kind of the theme tonight. It has nothing to do with politics or anything. This is all about paranormal. And I hate to be that way, but we got some announcements to make, and I'm going to be sharing some opinions. So if you are sensitive to other people's opinions about this particular place and the Warrens and all that jazz, then this may not be the live for you. So I'm going to go ahead and give you that warning, because I will not hold myself back from saying what my beliefs are when it comes to this particularly. I always try to be as professional as possible in terms. I know there's no professionals in the paranormal because it is, pseudo, right? But at the same time, I think we can all come to a great opinion, especially if we are the ones out here doing the research and seeing what's happening. So that is my public service announcement warning for this live. What's up, Yvette? Let's see. I got the chat here, but I've got it dimmed so my phone battery will last longer. So if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my tablet. Let's see. Anybody else come in? So far, not yet. So welcome in, everybody. So, that's annoying. Hold on. I'll show you my little friend. I got two friends. You might not be able to spot one. One's right there. Connie sent me that one because the ghosty is, it's appropriate. And my second little friend, you might be able to see in the background a little bit. There's some friends back there, but here's my big friend. Don't look at those. Don't look at my sins. If anybody knows what this is, let me know in the chat. You can tell from the side of the box, maybe. But yeah, we got little ghosty friends. If he's outside on a call right now, he may jump in. We just choose to go vertical because several reasons. Brings more people in. It fits the everything. So he might come in and say hello in a bit. Let's see. Yes. Okay, guys. So, along the lines, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm obviously not Elton or Matt Rife, but I have looked into a lot of things. First and foremost, I want to talk about like how everybody says, oh, this is a crazy experience. It's too much. It's a lot of money. It's definitely a lot of money for your everyday average investigator. Even with a team of 8 people, it can be considered a lot of money. And it's really not if you look at it in the sense of if you're going to stay at a nice hotel when you go and investigate anything above like a Quality Inn, you're going to have to pay a kind of the amount that you would pay to go investigate and do, other to stay at a hotel afterwards. So, I kind of expected it. I figured it was going to be around $2,000, anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000, because highly known locations, for example, Tala, I believe it was 1850. And you can bring up to 15 people, but if 15 people don't go, then, that's 1850. It's from, I think, 7 to 4, so you get a few more hours. I would say Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary was $1,500 for 8 hours, maybe 9. I think we had to be out by 3. Let's see, what else? Ohio State Reformatory. on a weekday during the on season, which there's only 2 months, there's an off season, you get a 40% discount. It was $1,575 for a group of 2, 4, 6, 8 people to go. It may have been 9. It was either 8 or 9. Some of the folks that went are in the chat. But if we would have went on a Friday or a Saturday night, it'd have been $3,500. And I get that it's a larger space, but still, we could not afford to go on a Friday or a Saturday night. So a lot of people that are throwing stuff around, and I'm not taking up for Elton. This is not me taking up for anybody. This is just my opinion. I want to make that very clear. On top of driving to these places, because we are located in North Carolina, we've been driving 2 or 3 states away. So that's our gas, our time off of work or shifting work. We've had to scrape bottom dollar moving money around to make this happen. This is an expensive, and it doesn't always necessarily have to be if you're into going to graveyards and going to free stuff. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. But when I set forth with this channel, it's not that I'm trying to say that I want to do the best and the better. I wanted to go to these places to see if they're actually what people say they are. Sometimes we found that they are, and sometimes we found that maybe not so much. But when we go back and we look at the evidence, there's things there that we can't explain. The voices, if you don't have headphones and you listen to our videos, there's voices there that you really can't hear unless you have good headphones on. I will say that. It's very hard, but they're there. Images we've called apparitions, in my personal opinion. What we experienced at Ohio State Reformatory, every bit worth it. Most recently, we just went to, drum roll, some people know, some people don't, Pennhurst. I just got back from Pennsylvania. I actually stayed with Emily, the fine art medium, for a couple days. If y'all caught that live over on Lights at Midnight. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. She was gracious enough to let us stay there. And then I went and met with a lady and a group of people. Kaylee is the Paranormal Patch, and then there's a few other people involved that all have their own YouTube channels as well. So we did a little bit of filming together. But even Pennhurst was $1,200. We added 2 more locations, which made it $1,500. So yes, these are larger locations, but you know, in some places you can only take 8 to 10 people. So to kind of put the perspective out there, the $2,000 for what it is, considering it's not lasting, I think's about on point. It's on the upper end. He probably could have charged more. Now that for Saturdays and Sundays, it is $2,300 roughly. Again, all of them go up. Now there are plenty of great places that you can pay anywhere from $300 to $700, $800 to $1,000 to go. But most of the places we have been kind of bigger name places. We've split them amongst a bunch of people. That's what makes them affordable. Okay, so I'm going to check the chat and see if anybody's saying anything. Let's see. Oh, I welcome in. I hope I don't pronounce your name wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It's Daniel. Or I don't know how to pronounce the other E. I don't know if the E sound on in. Welcome in. Let's see. Thank you, Wanderlust, for keeping the stuff going here. What's up, Angel? What's up, Cassie? All right, just seeing if anybody had any questions before I moved on. So that's my perspective on the price. Now let's talk about the other fees. So yes, it does include clean blankets, pillows, toothbrush, toothpaste, snacks. There's even some surprises that are going to be happening. There's spiritual room. There's a lot of added things that you don't really get at other places. And that's cool. Some people are saying, oh, we don't need those. You know, we'd rather just go. And I totally get that, because the Warrens Museum is going to change, and I'm going to talk about briefly about the Warrens legacy and that too. So no worries. So, you know, the house has been kind of cleared out. There's newer furniture or replicated furniture. They've left small amounts of things in there. He's leaving all of his equipment if you need that, if that's something you need. For us, we have tons. People we're going with have tons of equipment, all that kind of stuff, right? So we never need equipment on locations. You know, I could have been without that. Like, I've been very gracious to meet people that have allowed us to use their equipment on locations. So it's not that we necessarily need that, but it would be cool to see, like, and use some things. Not very interested in the DR60. I may try it out just to see what the fuss is about, but for me, I've heard voices come through, and then I've heard times it's just I'm not a fan. Give me a spirit box, give me a portal. Freaking happy. When you got the radio and you're getting clear evidence and answers, I call that a win. You know how I feel about the apps. Um, I, we've used apps because we haven't had a portal until now. Thanks, courtesy of Durham Paranormal in the chat. DurhamParanormalNC.com. You can get all kinds of different paranormal items and equipment for good low prices. He is my sponsor. Yes, this is a slight plug. No shame in the plug there. Good guy, good equipment. A couple folks have actually bought from him recently. We're going to be getting a new item from him soon, and Emily's actually getting the same item from him soon. So it'll be interested to see what she gets with that as well. Okay, so hidden fees, or not hidden fees, but the fees that people are upset about, and I'll give you my opinion on it. So $400, anywhere from $200 to $500 to drop your video. So for us, our videos are between 1 and 2 hours long. That's $400 for them to review it. Yeah, that's kind of pricey. He says that's normal. I think that's normal for bigger channels. I have seen it in some places where if you have over 10,000 followers, they make you pay to drop the video. Unfortunately, you know, what people don't understand, and even maybe the people that run these places, and I'm not saying Elton or anybody, because he's the one that's kind of come up with it all. Matt's just, you know, he's too busy, right? He can make decisions, but he's on the road. Elton and Ginger and the crew have been really going at it. That's pretty steep. I was not necessarily happy about that, to hear that, you know, and hey, $500 for up to 4 hours makes me wonder if you have a group of people that are going to release a video. Maybe you could put your videos together. They need to be edited fully, and then you just slap them together and maybe split the cost. Hey, I thought about doing that. It is normal, but it's not normal. Not normal for us. You know, we're a smaller paranormal channel. Still, even though we've been around a year, we've only had, 13 releases. So we're still trying to get going here. And hang around because we got some special announcements about video drops and locations and October coming at the end. I just wanted to get all this out of the way. So yeah, it's a lot. And I understand the frustration because as paranormal investigators, you either love or hate the Warrens. But I do think there's a happy medium. I think I find myself right in the middle. Of course, I was fascinated by the Warrens, and then a lot of information came out, and, you know, that's fine. But for me, if I was to go to a location of such, I'm not going for the legacy. It's really cool. And maybe it's a small part of it because it's the feeling of like, wow, I'm here. These are the objects. This is cool. Like, I personally, and I know I can speak for a lot of people that I know, we want to see what the fuss is about. We want to see if it's haunted. When we go in, we make our very best, you know, shot at evidence. We are not fabricating shit. And I don't want to cuss because I got it monetized now. We don't fabricate stuff. We make sure that we do what we do and we give our opinions. I never ask anybody to believe what I see or whatever. It still amazes me how much on point some of these pre-channelings are versus not, you know, ever. I've seen videos of certain places, but not ever looking into these places. Still, though, I get it. If people are skeptical, you have a right to be. We're human. We're always looking for the truth and the answers. So, yeah, the stuff with the Warrens, you know, it's kind of sad that they're not here to defend themselves. But you have, like, some people say they were great. Some people say they were awful. It sounds a lot like things that happened today. So, you know, I get people are upset, and I get people think it's fake. And all that stuff, and the objects, how they may be just yard sale objects and all that kind of stuff, which is the route or the topic of conversation that I will be going into further in just a moment. But I'm going to pause because I'm trying to get all the stuff out before I'm trying to lay it all down before we get into the chat much. Let me see. All right. Can you explain? I think it will last a lifetime, imprints on your soul to enable to forget, not just tangible physical things to last, take away with you. Yep, no faking. We don't like fakers. I can't work or be around people that, you know, heighten things. When you see me in a certain mood or if I'm really quiet in my videos, it's because I'm like scanning the room. And it's totally different than seeing me here on live or joking with me or laughing with me. I take it really serious. But I also firmly believe in what Spirit gives me. It's never steered me wrong. Never has it ever steered me wrong. So when I see or feel something, yes, it could be like debunked. That's fine. But when it comes in from Spirit, it's a totally different thing. Yes, I really would love for you to have a portal box. And Cassie, dead serious. And Cassie, what do you want me to explain more, dear? Maybe I missed it. Let's see. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to haunted objects. So there's a particular person here in the chat, Dead Serious Investigations. He is a haunted objects collector. I was familiar with haunted objects a little bit prior to doing Lights at Midnight. Duran was our first guest on the Lights at Midnight podcast, and he taught us a lot about haunted objects. They are a beast of their own. They have to be maintained differently. And one thing that I really hope I can explain this well, but the perspective that Spirit gave me for haunted objects is you have a haunted person, haunted place, haunted object. The terminology I kind of come up with to help teach on Lights at Midnight. Haunted person is a person that attracts things. Like, I could technically be considered a haunted person. What's wrong, kitty? You hear my kitty? What's wrong? Are you being grumpy? Where you at? He's black. I can't see him. Oh, he's over there. He's staring at me creepily. What's the matter? I fed you. You got water and you got a place to poo. And now Onyx is right here. Lord, my kids ain't here, but my fur babies are. Okay. So what was I saying? Okay, the perspective that Spirit gave me about haunted objects, I haven't fully thought it out yet. And maybe something you see come later on down the road. But you have a haunted person, haunted place, haunted object. The person is the one that attracts stuff, right? Haunted place is a place that has suffered trauma or a lot of energy, bloodshed has been spilled, and it creates some type of residual haunting or a thought form, or it has a conscious haunting or a sentient haunting, or people have invoked things there. Haunted places in a nutshell. And then haunted objects are objects that have energies attached to them. It is similar to people, right? But objects, sometimes they can see their energy inside of them, but most of the time these haunted things are just attached to that object because that is their entrance way. If you're looking at the entity perspective of it, that is their entrance way into this world. They didn't seed themselves into a person or like have their energy attached to the person. They found the object of a person's affection to be able to siphon energy out of it. And if you think about it, a haunted object is small. We walk up to a haunted object, meaning the haunted object is way more condensed energetically than an actual haunted place. Are y'all following me? So a haunted place has energy spread out amongst it, and the object itself is the place that's haunted. So when we go inside of these places, we're walking within them in our perspective. Okay, this may not make any sense, but if it makes sense, give me a thumbs up in the chat. When you have a haunting that's specific to one object, it can be much more intense. And this is what Spirit's telling me. Yes, can a haunted place be very intense? Yes. Haunted objects, though, they'll pop off quicker than anything, from my experience. And there's a lot to that. You can go check out Duran's channel, Dead Serious Investigations on YouTube, or you can go listen to that podcast. I think it's episode number 4 on Lights at Midnight podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. You can listen anywhere you get your podcasts. Good. I'm glad it makes sense. Let's see. Good. Okay. So, haunted objects, are there fakers and fake haunted objects? Yeah, absolutely. You see people selling dolls and this and that and the other, and unless they're actually inviting and invoking spirits into that, doesn't guarantee it's going to work. But, a lot of times when you buy a haunted object, it's just because it has an energy. One thing I haven't spoke of is the residual energy attachment to objects, which is totally different sometimes. What's the matter? Come on over here. Come on. You hear him? Pitiful. He's got pitiful meow. He's like, come on, mommy. All right, you're distracting me, though. Because I got some stuff I want to talk about. A lot more exciting things, but just want to get this out. Residual energy can be attached to haunted objects. It's unfortunate people have objects and they know they're not haunted and they set it up to be that way. But here's the thing, and this is the punchline of the title. What most people do not understand about Annabelle: it does not matter. I repeat, it does not matter energetically whether an object is haunted or not. When you first get it, you can make it haunted really quick, especially things like Annabelle, because you have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people now, thanks to the franchise, thanks to all the, the public knowledge of Annabelle. Evil always finds a place. Residual energy does not. Residual energy has a place where it was leaked or where what it was put into. But evil always finds a place. And when you have millions of people in a spotlight, who's that's the cat. Sorry, it's not a ghost. He jumped down again. But yeah, so evil will always find a place. So, for everybody that's saying these objects are yard sale objects, it's not haunted, I mean, yeah, it's possible, right? But after all these years and all the energy and everything, if these objects were not haunted, they are definitely haunted now. My personal opinion. Okay? To heck with the story, to heck with it, throw all that out the window. Clear the slate. Okay? That's my personal spiritual opinion. I've had clients with haunted objects. It is the worst case I have ever had. It is the most terrifying case I have ever had. This family wants their story told. This is a project I'm working on. It is taking a while. I've got all the stuff I need, except for I would like to fly to California or drive to California, which there's somebody else that needs to be in this documentary with me. I would even like to interview them if they would be willing, because this was some legit stuff and they've gave me permission to share it to help educate people. And it was a haunting from witchcraft roots. And sometimes those are the worst hauntings you can get when it comes to conjuring up thought forms or darker entities. And I know some people think that darker entities don't exist. Well, I suggest you to step into some of the most haunted locations in America and then reevaluate that opinion. There's a balance to everything. There's light and dark, and I'm not all about the dark. Like, yes, I like the gothic stuff and I like paranormal and stuff, but I'm full of love and I'm full of light. It's just one shade of me. I'm 50 shades of chastity. You get me in all different forms, but that's who we are as people, right? So going into this and like understanding that it doesn't matter if the objects weren't haunted before, some of these objects are definitely haunted now. And it's not nice. And how do I know that? How do I know it's not nice? What's going on with Annabelle? Well, some of you may and may not know, I've met Annabelle before. My story with these objects began on Halloween in 2021 when my gifts were still kicking in, and I was learning everything. Basically, I still knew a lot, but I needed more of a foundation at that point. Definitely didn't understand haunted objects as well. But I knew what I was getting myself into. I was curious. So we ended up having the opportunity that year to drive up to Connecticut to go to the very first Seekers of the Supernatural Paracon. Let's see. I'm going to pause right there. Cliffhanger. All right. Cool. A ghost. Yeah, the ghost he's still there. He ain't throwing nothing around yet. So we went up there and I told this story again. I think it's episode 6 on the Lights of Midnight podcast. It's Annabelle's Wrath. There were a few things that happened on the way up there. We stopped at a Days Inn. We were tired. I was tired. V could have kept going. I'm like, no, we need to stop and rest. Worst decision ever, because we stopped in New Market, Virginia at a Days Inn, not knowing it was actually a Civil War battlefield we were sleeping on. You can actually Google it. The Days Inn was right beside the Civil War Museum, right on a battlefield. Needless to say, I was wide open and spiritually, and I saw all kinds of stuff. I felt like I was dying. Yeah, I barely slept that night. I maybe got 20 minutes of sleep. We got up and drove the rest of the way there. But I was spiritually attacked while I was there. And I saw several things. You can go listen to it. It's an hour and a half long. If you want to skip to the story, I think it's like 30 minutes in, but I was spiritually attacked. We get to our beautiful Airbnb and we have like a day or so rest and all that good stuff. We wake up the next day, I think, actually, and go to visit the objects. They say that there was car wrecks and stuff. According to Annabelle, that's all been debunked now, supposedly. I haven't done the research myself. I say that if you want to know something, you can always take the opinions of other people and go find the information for yourself. So I'm not saying that people are lying or fibbing or anything. I don't know. I would tend to believe them, but it's just something we got to look into. This girl, I can't remember her name. I wish I'd have wrote it down, but she came with facts about the Warren. She's blown up in the community, and that can be appreciated, right? But that's part of the reason too. All the controversy is why we have to pay the $400 or $500 or $300 to release a video if anybody wants to go. That's kind of crazy. So I get it though. It is what it is. There's $1 million franchise movie right there. So we meet the objects. I really don't feel a lot from Annabelle, but the objects are blessed. And I'm like, wow. Really didn't feel a lot from Annabelle, but the witch next to her, this the witch in the museum, I looked at it and it has like, maybe it has eyeballs, but it's almost like it was looking back into my soul. I felt a huge energy coming off the witch item. It was on the right of Annabelle, which is probably left to you guys. On the right of Annabelle was the satanic idol. There was Annabelle. There was the witch. I was this far away from Annabelle. We were a foot to a foot and a half. And I did not feel jack diddly squat. I was like, is this the real Annabelle? But, I noticed it was in a different box. They didn't really tell people that. But the witch and some of the other items did have energy. And at that time, I didn't realize that the entity doesn't necessarily have to be in the box, beside the box. I mean, there's holes in the box. It says, let me out. Well, there's literally carved holes inside the box. So, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. When we set up energetic boundaries, it's not that it's just the container that has to be closed. There's a lot of things to it. Can it be open? Can it be closed? It's all the matter of belief and what you do with it, right? So nothing really happened until we got back. It was Halloween night. We were in our Airbnb by ourselves in this old, like, Victorian style Connecticut mansion. Everybody was out partying because it was Halloween. We don't drink like that. So we were laid up in bed and we heard footsteps. It was like the servants' quarters when that house was, excuse me. It was like the servants' quarters when that house was, operational. My eyes and everything still bothering me. I had to turn off the fan and everything. It's been driving me nuts with the pollen or fall, whatever, ragweed. But anyways, yes. So we heard footsteps. There was nobody there because I had messaged her because her doorknob had broken because it was old. We were going in and out to smoke. I guess we turned it. It was already hanging off halfway. I didn't break it. It just fell off. So we got back in the house and she basically said, okay, when I get home, I'll fix it or whatever. She was on the third floor. We were on the second and somebody come down from the third floor. So we never heard footsteps or anything for the rest of the night. Let's see where I'm at. Hello, Sean. Days in are really bad. I got attacked by a band of fleas a few years ago. Yes. I think a lot of times they did it that way back at that time. Haha. I might meet a chupacabra. That'd be interesting. That would be very interesting. What are the best accommodation brands? I don't understand that question. So from what I'm referring to, you may have to elaborate a little bit if it's pertaining to the paranormal. But yes, so the next day we wake up, we drive home. After the, everything, we wake up, drive home. It was like 10 hours, ended up being 15. We're in a rental car. We're tired, and this is my first time. Oh, I left out something really important. V, at the time, we were making our terrariums heavy and selling our jewelry and everything. It was kind of like post-COVID or kind of during all of it. And we were making our jewelry, selling it, and he wanted graveyard dirt. And me and him, like 2 months prior, had it out. I said, this is not okay. This is used in witchcraft. You don't know what you're messing with. He's like, I just want to put it in terrarium. And he's a man. I'm going to let him do his grown man things. I dropped it. Still wasn't happy with it. Okay. So the time came and he didn't get the graveyard dirt. He got it outside of the fence of the graveyard at the Warrens' graveyard. Not just their graveyard. There's hundreds of other people buried there, but it was in, Monroe, Connecticut, because we went to visit their graves the following day on our way home. And I wasn't too happy about it. So on the way back home, we're about 45 minutes. We had just crossed the North Carolina line, and there's nothing like going on a road trip and you're tired as hell and you're like, yeah, I'm back in my state. There's just like you go through a time warp feeling. You're like, yeah, I'm almost home, so I can lay sprawled out in my bed with the air conditioner on 63 until, especially hot days, whatever. So, we're feeling good. I'm doing like 70, 75. It used to be a road called 220 or something in another county. But we were coming down. It's changed. All of it's changed now. But we were coming down. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, just hauling tail in this car. And within seconds, I had like maybe a second or two to react. And I've got good reflexes on the road. But this, there was 2 boxes. They were probably about this big. And they had a metal prong on them. And they were literally the space of my tires. They were literally spaced out to hit both of my tires in the rental car. We hit him. We hit him doing 70. Luckily, I didn't lose control. We pull over at the next exit, which was about a mile away because we were wobbling. Well, the reason we were wobbling is because it bent the rim of the tire. Not only did it pop it, obviously, when it bent the rim, the other tire was fine. We had a spare. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. We're on a, off ramp. And at this point, I'm just pissed. We're both cussing and fussing and all that kind of stuff. And we have to get in the trunk to get that out. And to mind you, like, what was a black box with 2 prongs in the middle of the road for? Nobody was on the road. Like, if anybody knows what a black box with a metal prong is on the middle of it, just let me know. Because I still don't know what it is. I have heard of people trying to pop people's tires and robbing them. And I think I've seen it in that county before. It was Rockingham County. And this was, I just don't know. I really don't know. So, we're fussing, cussing, getting the tire out. We're tired. We're ready to get home. It had already been like 14 hours. And, let's see, hold on. Okay. Never mind. I don't know. I can't help you there, buddy. Shauna, I don't know what to help you with there. With accommodations, I mean, I go to Airbnbs sometimes. Sometimes I go to hotels. Airbnbs are more, it just depends when I'm traveling. Sometimes we sleep in the car if we're on a budget. Like it just all depends. So, I always go for the not the cheapest, but I try to find the most safe, cheapest option. And I will leave that there. So basically, we go in the back of the trunk and there's the graveyard dirt. I haven't touched it. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want nothing to do with it. At this point, like I said, I'm upset and we're pulling it out. The graveyard dirt spills in the back of the trunk. At this point, I was over it. I take the graveyard dirt, put it back in the cup. That was a big mistake because as soon as I touched that dirt, I started having a psychic experience. And I felt like we were being surrounded. Like we wasn't even studying at that point. We did think it was weird, but we wasn't studying it. And yeah, so we start to change the tire and I start hearing laughing. And then I kind of look back and in my mind's eye, I see spirits surrounding us in a half like semicircle. Just there. And they're all like ganging up on us. And I'm like, we need to get out of here. Okay, we need to get out of here. So he's under the car, not under the car, but he's changing the tire. And all of a sudden, oh, that's aggravating. I'm sorry if y'all are hearing that. And all of a sudden, I look in front of the car because I'm standing beside him. And I see this like 10, 12 foot tall white figure, wide, about 5, 6 foot wide white figure that looked angelic. And I took that immediately, registered as a warning in my head. I couldn't even get the words, get out from under the spam. The jack falls. The jack falls. Luckily, he just had like his arm somewhere near it, but he was like kind of up close to it. That thing came to warn me about that car getting ready to fall. You tell me. We went back once we got the hubcap or the spare tire on and everything off. And those boxes weren't there. It was 2 o'clock. There was barely any traffic. By then it was probably 30, 45 minutes later. It was scary. It was really scary. So, we doubted Annabelle's energy, right? And he did something he shouldn't have done. The way we fixed that is obviously we were almost home. I said, you're not bringing that to my house. Okay. So I already had like my spiritual tools on me. I had my protection on me. We went to the graveyard close to my house, and I asked him to go say he was really, really, really sorry and give offerings of stones, healing stones, and sage. And he made a little pile by the tree at the entrance and all that good jazz. He said, goodbye. I'm very sorry. End of story. So, yeah, that was our experience with Annabelle. Could it be a bunch of coincidences or correlations? Yeah, you can look at it that way. But I know what I went through. So, I'm not here to convince anybody if Annabelle or the objects are real or anything of the such. I just wanted to tell my story and give my opinions. I'm pretty much answer any questions if anybody has them about the place. He is opening up 90 more days, which I already knew was going to happen too, because in May of 2026, like May 17th or something like that, don't hold me to the exact date, but in May, the objects are getting moved to their new location. Okay, hold on. It's been 40 years since I drove in the States. Oh, I got you. Okay, Sean, because I wasn't sure if you were like some random person. You're legitimately asking me a question, so I apologize. Because sometimes you get wild stuff on here, so forgive me. Yes, it depends, Sean. So, like, by train and stuff, if you can rent a car and you can drive, I would 100% recommend that, because most places in the United States, you have to drive to, because it's just huge. Even like where I live, if I have to walk to a bus stop, it's 3 miles away. Right? So we have to have a car to survive where we live. In certain places you don't, in big inner cities you don't, but to get to some of these paranormal investigation places, you have to rent a car. And you can stay at Airbnb, just do your research if you want. Airbnbs are good, but also, hotels. If you pull over, a lot of places in good, there's decent rest areas that are supervised. You stay at your own risk, but you can even take naps there, like off the side of the highway. I would recommend like doing that if you get tired, but public transportation in these larger cities, I wouldn't even get on them. I'm from a place where we have public transportation, but I don't have to use it. Some people do, but it's just a ruckus. Like, I've taken a Greyhound bus, and that was like at 7 or 8 years old, worst experience ever. Like, this was back in the day before 2001 in America. I'll leave that there. I don't want to highlight what I'm talking about, but the year 2001, before they really cracked down on transportation, this man had a big trunk with him, and he was an old man in his 90s, and he was out of his mind. And like, all of a sudden, going down the road, he takes like this black trunk, kind of similar to what my grandmother had at the end of her bed, opens it up and pulls out a chain and just slams it down on the ground. That may probably won't happen now, but what I'm saying is it's best to try to rent a car if you're going to travel, and plan your trip beforehand. Like, for us, sometimes we can like do it on the fly, but you never know, depending on which area you're going to. But if you're trying to travel to these haunted locations, they sometimes are out in the middle of nowhere. So that's my best advice. Oh no, 55 is something like up north. It can be 55, it can be 60, but some of the highways here, it just depends. Like, some of the highways here are 70, some are 65. When you go out west, like when I went up north from NC, like there are places that if you don't do the speed limit, they take pictures. It's like very much, I'm very disappointed in that. Like, going up north, they treat their citizens like they're ignorant. And I guess because of the way they drive, that's probably why. But here where I'm from, they're fairly lax as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do. But there's nobody surveilling you and watching you as much. I thought that was crazy. Not looking forward to that. And the tolls, you can go on toll roads where you have to pay to drive on them. So you need to be prepared with cash, preferably. Sometimes they have to mail you the toll as well, and you'll have to sort that out with the company. But yes. Yes. You're welcome, Sean. Um, Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, it was pretty creepy. Um, but yeah, I mean, I wanted to kind of condense all this. It took me 40 minutes, but I said my piece. I said it as fast as I could without me having my little ADHD or ADD moment. I definitely don't have the HD part. There is no hyper in my life. Not these days, not in my midlife here area. Specifically, it's more like lower energy now these days. But I wish I had the energy I had when I was in my 20s, man. Jeez. Can't go back on that though. But yeah, so if anybody doesn't have any questions, I'm going to move on to our Appalachian Nightmare business. Sweet. Thank you, Yvette. Says I did the right thing. Yes, I think it was deliberately placed. I really do. I know, girl. She's licking me. Because her daddy's outside chatting. I thought he may come back in by now, but I ain't waiting on him anymore. So we got some announcements to make. All right. So I don't see any questions. So again, I've talked about it. We're going to Pennhurst, or we've been to Pennhurst already. Okay. So Pennhurst was really fun. The video, I'm working on it right now. That's why I'm like trying to hurry up here because I got to get back to editing, and we have an investigation tomorrow. It's so crazy. And then we have 1 week break, and then we have another investigation that the following weekend, and then we have another investigation the weekend after that for our December video. So once I get all this filmed, we have a video squared away until January of 2026. If I didn't do Fright Night Fridays, I'd have had videos for once a month all the way up till like May of next year. But Pennhurst should be coming out this Friday. Okay. And then that's going to be great. Some crazy stuff happened at the infirmary. You're going to see me trip out a little bit. Normally, I'm cool as a cucumber. It's not that I'm like scared. It's more of me getting a little frustrated and angry. Probably I shouldn't have, but when you're placed in such, I'll just put it to you this way. I was being physically attacked by an energy there. Yeah. So, and did some psychic stuff with Kaylee. So stay tuned. The video may be a little bit shorter because in the middle of our investigation, we really didn't get a ton. I'll review the footage as long as I have the time, but I'm starting to leave out certain parts of our investigations to save for Patreon and members on YouTube. I try to put out a couple videos or a couple little extra things a month at least for every level. If you want to become a member, you can tap that join button. It helps us tremendously, or a Patreon member. I generally have that link in the chat, but it's in some of my videos. I did not put it in here this time. These things, it helps us a lot, and you do get some extra content. And I have a lot of things like in the works that I'm putting out as well. But I did take it upon myself to do Fright Night Fridays. And I'm scared. I've started editing a little bit already, but I've released 3 of the locations. Okay. So Fright Night Fridays is this series, like the theme. Okay. So technically I can do a Fright Night Fridays every October if I really can or wanted to. The theme is The Return. So if anybody hasn't realized yet or seen it, The Return basically means we're going back to some of the most haunted locations that we had been to thus far in our Appalachian Nightmare career. So, basically, the first one was the Arts Place. That's coming out October 3rd. The second one is, of course, the courthouse, because you can't go to the Arts Place without going to the courthouse. That's coming out the 10th, 10/10, all at 9 p.m. Friday. And then our third location, which I just released this Friday, is St. Albans Sanatorium. You're going to see people that have been in the videos with us before. So pretty much every single one of these, we're bringing back somebody too that has collabed with us. They're going to be in the videos with us. So super exciting. And then this Friday we will announce location number 4, and the following Friday we'll announce location number 5. I generally do it about 12 a.m. our time to 3 a.m. our time, so it comes out a little bit earlier for Mountain Time, West Coast stuff. But yeah, so you got 2 more locations in Fright Night Fridays. One of them we're still waiting to visit. So we're going to visit our last Fright Night Fridays location, which will drop on Halloween night at 9 p.m. I'm pretty sure it's Friday, yeah, October 31st. And it's one of the most infamous, hardest places to get into. I got us back in there. And let's just say, I think it's going to be worth it. This time is going to be different. It's only going to be 3 or 4 of us there. We're all going to work together as a group, and we're going to get it done. I think we're going to have a great night, and we only get 2 hours there too. So if you know, you know, if that gave you any hints, but we are super excited. We do that on the 27th, actually. I'm going on a couple podcasts too. I'm actually hosting podcasts right now, back again with Lights at Midnight. If you missed that, season 3 is coming out for Lights at Midnight, hopefully right around Halloween or that Monday, probably that Monday. More than likely, just to, start it off again. 3rd year, 3rd season, let's fucking go, right? Okay. Let me check the chat. Thank you for the thumbs up. Boop, boop. What's up? Joey and Joey Paranormal, JJ Paranormal in the house. What's up? All right. Let's see what else. I think that's all I can talk about for Fright Night Fridays. The videos, I really want to do something like a little different. They may move faster because, the arts place and the courthouse is filmed in the same night. So there's only 3 locations and like 2 locations for the courthouse. They may be shorter. I kind of want the style to be a little bit different because, I have to edit all these videos. I'm getting a late start between a lot of things. There's some things that's went on personally. Everybody's okay in my immediate family and everything. I just went through some stuff that's kind of kept me busy. I've been a busy, busy girl. Well, V's not in here. So we've got a special announcement. Some people do know, and you may not be surprised because of the topic of this video, but we did book the Warrens Museum. So we will be investigating the Warrens Museum in November. Yeah, and we got it as close as I could because I want this video to come out. I want to go for my own personal journey, okay? And I want to go for you guys because I want to see how this place feels. I want to see if it's really haunted. I know that we may get flack because a lot of people think it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. A lot of people are like, well, the house has never been said to be haunted. Well, spirits are everywhere, first of all. If you call to them, they come to you, right? Unless you're heavily protected. But even when you do that, you drop your defenses. And to think that an entity can be bound, especially when you're antagonizing it, and not necessarily in a bad way, but when you're pulling it forward, to think that it can just stay in that little building is very boxed thinking, okay? Because at the end of the day, we don't truly know. We're only either told or we experience. That shapes our perspective. So I personally think the house will have activity in it. I've already had an experience with Annabelle. Annabelle's not going to be the main feature, of course, we'll show her, but like we get 4 hours in the museum. We're going on a weekday or a Sunday. This would have not, we technically have 8 people going with us. So it's at the minimum amount. One person may be making a video at least out of it. So we may split that cost. This is the only time in the last 10 years of my whole entire life would I've ever had the opportunity to go. We left it up to a coin flip because I was second guessing it 5 minutes before the place went on sale. Financially, we never could have afforded this unless it was like right now. And we flipped a coin 2 minutes before the spots went on sale, and he said, heads we go, tails we don't. And he flipped the coin. It landed like over in the floor. He wouldn't look at it, and he told me to pack my bags, bitch. So that's what we did. So the fact that this is like the one and only time we'd ever had the funds to front this, to allow other people to pay us back, that's not going to hang around forever. I looked at it as an opportunity to add because I do these paranormal investigations. I need the field experience. Yes. I need to develop that and see what it feels like to be in the presence of these things, besides like doing my astral visionings and the things that I do with my clients. Most of you know I've been helping people for like the last 5 years with paranormal stuff. And I studied a lot even before that. And I'm not saying my way is the correct way, but I trust what spirit gives me, and I'm still learning. But I go here to prove it to other people, to give other people a perspective of what it's like to be there. Like, I already have my opinion, but I'm going to try to go in with a clean slate. But I can tell you right now, if I put myself in front of that door, meaning if I vision myself in front of that door when it's open, it's like hitting me. It's heavy. I'm going to say that it's probably going to be pretty heavy in certain parts of this place. And I'm going to talk to everybody, but I really want to sleep in Lorraine's office, which is in the basement. There's 2 separate beds that are like dressers, and they fold down into Murphy beds, basically. And it's right on the backside, because after 1:30 a.m., we get to investigate the house. We can investigate the house prior to up until 9:30, but then we switch back over to the house. And yeah, I'm gonna be investigating the hell out of it, because we get 20 hours there, and it gives us an opportunity to record while we sleep. So, whoop whoop. Let's see. Yes, JJ Paranormal. I saw everything. I made sure to basically like really, really look. I looked into everything. Um, I've watched all the lives and everything. So what I think we're going to do, I don't think Elton will have a problem with this. I've talked to Elton a little bit, like with questions. He's been very attentive, more so than I ever would have thought. But that man is on fire right now. So no matter what you think of Elton and his content, I appreciate his drive to get this going. People say it's money driven. You're right. It's a business. I mean, there is money driven behind this, but he's literally pouring his sweat, blood, and tears into this project. And somebody was going to come along and do it. I mean, somebody, just like the Conjuring House, any place. To do paranormal investigations, it's expensive if you go to the bigger places. So, we are not going to all bigger places. Some of our places cost $60 a person. Some of them are $300. Some of them are $35. Like, we haven't spent, thousands and thousands. Well, at this point, we probably have. And that's just neither here nor there. But the point is, yes, it costs a lot of money to do this. And, what I was saying, it's just kind of all added up to where maybe I can finish or continue my story with these haunted objects. I'm going back in more prepared, ready, like, let's go. I'm excited. We are too. We are too. Thank you, Joy. I appreciate that. It is exciting. I realize that there may be some backlash that comes on us. I'm already called fake and a fraud and a grifter and all that kind of stuff. Whatever. I don't care what people think about me. I know me, and I know what my intention is. People are going to talk. If I lose friends over this in the paranormal community, it is what it is. Like, I just want to go see for myself. And like, we left it up to fate. I almost backed out because a lot of people did kind of like they were upset about the price, and they wasn't sure if they wanted to go. But as soon as we booked it, I think a lot of people were like locked in, like, yeah, let's do this. Because it's a lot of money, and I understand that. I'm not mad. I just, we were going to go no matter what. Even if we only had 3 people, we were just going to eat it and figure out how to figure it out. We were going to go no matter what. We left it up to fate, and my intent is to go in there, channel, and see what I can get. So I've got some people coming. Thank you, Christy. Yeah, they're always going to talk stuff. They're always going to talk stuff. I am too. I want to see how it's going to be in the office. I'm kind of nervous about sleeping there, but if I'm driving up, I don't like flying. First of all, it's probably the smartest thing to do, but I don't like flying. And I don't want to put my equipment through all that, so just too much risk. Like, I can't replace it easy. Like, it's taken us over a year and a half, and a lot of very nice people, and very helpful people and friends that have helped us, like, get the equipment that we need in multiple different ways, whether it was a kind donation or my sponsorship, or just a great price or suggestions, whatever it may be. I mean, we started out with hardly nothing and started making videos off the jump. So, I mean, I just don't want to, like my portal, the portal. No, absolutely not. No, that's my baby. I love the radio. The radio with the portal, you start getting stuff coming through with that, something's different. You know, and it's more than just one time. It's like a lot. Love the radio and the portal. I don't like the filming fee either. Yeah, the same ghosty. Yeah, oh, my little ghosty fell. Where'd he go? This ghosty fell. That's the other one I had sitting back here. Well, you missed the big reveal. I waited like 45 minutes about going to the thing. But say hello to everybody.
Hello to everybody.
Hello. But yeah, guys, I didn't want to go super in depth. I think, you know, when I do my haunted object series, I had went back and forth of where I wanted to post it, but now that, you know, I've given it enough time, our Appalachian Nightmare will be where I post the haunted object series. It should be at least 3 videos. Everybody saying hello. So yeah, super excited about it, and we'll keep you updated. But we got a lot of videos coming. My eyes are going to grow real big, like I said, and my fingers are going to get real long. I'm like, so I'll be editing.
So much stuff coming, you guys aren't going to believe it.
Yeah, I'm putting like 5 months worth of content into 1 month, and I've said this, I think, some places, but I'm not sure. But like our returns to these locations were almost better than our first time. A lot of them were better than our first time. Like you're going to see activity, certain devices go off that never went off, like all kinds of stuff.
Albans.
Don't say stop. You don't know what places I've released, do you?
What?
St. Albans, Art Place, Courthouse. That's it. They don't know about any of the other ones yet.
I know St. Albans has already been said.
Okay, I'm just making sure before he starts talking about other stuff. That's the only ones they know about.
Wild.
Yeah.
I loved St. Albans. It was a really good one.
It's going to be hard to edit.
But it's going to be hard to choose between a favorite because we've had a lot happen.
Yeah, we've had some really good investigations, so we've been rolling.
I've had some amazing things happen today. The kind of stuff that you just wish you were rolling a camera and there's no way possible.
He was outside.
I've seen some pretty unbelievable stuff today.
Yes, Christy, it does. It's a good start, and we wanted to do something special this year. So, I really want to do like interview style. Like, I hope I have time to insert like interview perspective of what happened while we were there, and you know, like the whole where you're sitting there and the dark is on one side and the lights on the other. Like, I want to try to make it a little more cinematic. So, but yeah, guys, that's all I've really got. I said 1 hour is 57 minutes and 40 seconds. So if y'all have any questions for me, comments, concerns, if you want to tell me to, that's fine too. This works out just fine. If there's anybody in the chat that's not familiar with me or they're watching, they don't know what I do. I am a psychic medium that an astrologer that specializes in the paranormal, spiritual guidance, and intuitive development. I technically have 3 channels: Our Appalachian Nightmare, this one, which is where I do my paranormal investigations, Luminary Luna Beams, which I haven't been on in a while, but I don't have time for it. And when I'm ready to go on it, I want to be ready to go on it. And I'm trying to get to that point where I can get back in it. A lot of stuff going on there, and we're restarting Lights at Midnight after about a 6-month break. After like 2 years. This could very well be the last season of Lights at Midnight, though.
Good stuff coming with Lights at Midnight, though.
A lot of good people. We're interviewing paranormal investigators. So we've already done 1 interview. That is a 305 Paranormal. Jen and Mondo went great. I've reached out to a couple other people. If I haven't reached out to you and you're interested, I have you. If you're in this chat and you're a paranormal investigator, I've either reached out to you or I intend to. My schedule is literally like blocked out almost every single day for the next 2 months. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm glad you called us too, Christy. I'm sorry if you missed some of the first part. It's more of me rambling and getting some things kind of in perspective and sharing, you know, what we have coming. I know it's been 4 months, but some things happened and I was going live a lot and I did not go live for a while. I have to be kind of, I like to do it. I would like to do it more often. It just depends. We've been traveling and just all kinds of stuff. Ooh, y'all want to see something? Oh. Oh.
Crispy crank.
This is what it's done to me. I don't care. I don't care. Look, they're delicious. Mm.
Oh,
The raspberries I got for you because I don't like raspberries.
I'm fine with the regular ones.
Well, anyways, I'm gonna eat one after I get off live. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Earn free treats. You can scan that QR code. The grand finale. ASMR Chastity shoving a donut down her face. Oh God, I'm
Oh,
embarrassed.
dude.
Not really. I don't care. I'm at that point of being on film that I am still worried about angles, but like on Kaylee's video, when I got down in the basement, we were shooting because she's got a few more subscribers than me, and I'm not nervous to meet people. But all of a sudden, like as soon as I get down in that basement, it's really weird. I will give you this about Pinhurst. My skin started like my eyes started burning. And I mean, it could have been my makeup, right? But my nose started itching and wanting to run, and like my skin started burning and itching, and I felt like I was having an allergic reaction. So like I know I look like a dummy on her stuff, like because I'm like, what So I'm over it at this point. I don't care. Um, yeah, I could probably be embarrassed, but I'm at the point where it's like whatever. Y'all either love me or you hate me. What are you holding on for? You said hold on.
I mean, I don't have anything.
Oh well, what
I
we?
mean,
Oh, make up your mind. What is it? Okay, whatever. Let's see. Life happens and you have to be in that space. Yeah. The grand finale. The day is always better with donuts. I concur. Heck yeah. Have I felt that at Marysville House? Yeah, dead serious. You've had some interesting stuff going on. Um, be interested to see one day if you ever share any of that. I know you probably can't with some of it, but I kind of tapped into that place and I can tell you right now, it was wide open. It was crazy. It was a lot. Like portals just falling out on the floor. It's crazy.
you're welcome.
Oh, thank you, Hellcat. Oh, okay. I see what happened. He didn't want to say nothing. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, I was in the middle of typing it. Like
I didn't know.
ADD, I gotta stay like distracted on one thing at a time.
Yeah, good night, Ransom. Yeah, I know it's late for some of the folks on the East Coast, so I tried to want to get everything out in an hour. That's another reason I just went. Bloop. Thank you, Hellcat. 100%. But yeah, guys, that's kind of the gist of it. We dive deeper into haunted objects and stuff. Like I don't remind reteaching and repeating myself, but I would have went in a little bit deeper. I just wanted to give my overall opinion on this live. I do have to get back to editing. Oh, thank you, Connie. Yes, thank you so much. It does help a lot. Because we have to reach like
Oh, yep.
$100 to even cash out on YouTube, so that does help a lot. It helps pay for tickets. Patreon, most of the time, all of our Patreon money and stuff will at least help us get half or the whole ticket. So that has been a huge help. And the rest of it is out of pocket mainly. Sometimes we get donations, but anything is greatly appreciated. But we enjoy doing this. I don't know how long I'll do this for. My intention is to keep going as long as it's right. Honestly, I'm trying to get to a point in life like I still do readings. I still do psychic readings. People may not think that because they haven't seen Luminary, but I still do that behind the scenes. I have quite a few regulars that come in and out, but I am still doing readings. So I'm actually taking a lot of my reading money and putting it into these trips too. So if anybody wants to book a reading with me, you can always email me at luminarylunabeams@gmail.com. Don't have a website right now because like the websites since I started, everything's going up. To stream live is going up, CapCut's going up. They all want you to buy into a year. And excuse me, a year is like anywhere from $200 to $400 for some of these things. And if I was just to get a year of CapCut and a year of StreamYard, for example, that would be all the income I make for 1 year on YouTube. So they can kiss it.
We're doing it for the love, y'all.
They can kiss it. So until, yeah, I'm not doing it. This whole, it's called poor tax, because if you can't afford to pay for the year up front, and then you have to pay like an extra $10 a month. Mad about that. Poor tax. So thank you. Exactly. Exactly. Especially these, I mean, and even if you do, it's always got somewhere else to go, right? So even if you do have it occasionally, you're blessed, it has somewhere else to go. So, yeah, we're super effing excited. If you didn't see the live with me and Emily on Lights at Midnight and you're interested, go back. It says just Lights at Midnight, all blurry. It says it's over. We did kind of make a little scene, but we had talked about doing that for years, just to kind of introduce us in the same room. It's cute. It's funny. Gives you updates there, and we go with the portal. We use the portal box there that Angel gave us. So yeah, super exciting. Thank you again, Connie.
Yeah, Connie, you're awesome.
We've got kids, bills, and always emergencies. Absolutely. You got to have a little something. And if you don't have a little something, but God always provides.
Kids, bills, chills, and thrills.
Yeah. God always provides, or Creator always provides. I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed. I know that the Divine Spirit has looked out for me, because there's so many times that things shouldn't be the way they are. Technically, I should never have been doing this channel. Technically, I never should have been able to do it. So there's always a reason, and there's always a purpose, and it's just like the coin flip. I don't know what's going to come of it, but we're going. Uh, Wish us luck. We'll probably will go live while we're there. I'm not worried about anybody showing up, because they have gates and fences, and if somebody comes at us, bro, we're from the South, so we good. Um, let's see. Yes, yes. You got anything you want to say before we kick it?
You're talking about, like, you let them know about Annabelle.
Yeah, I've done it all, baby. I ran my mouth fast. I'm sweating as fast as I ran my mouth.
I mean, one thing
Got the fastest mouth in the South.
I want to touch base on real quick. I'm sure y'all probably talked about the whole controversy thing of why it costs so much, and
Yeah.
I don't think that I think that $400 is a little steep for a review.
We've already talked about all that too, but you
But
can
at
give
the
your
same
opinion.
time, I think the price is very fair, because you do get to stay there. You don't have to go get a motel and all this. And I know she's probably said all that. Like, I was in a different situation a little bit ago, but uh, I think it's worth giving it a shot. I know a lot of people say things like in the skeptical area, and we all know, like, there's reputations in that area, but me and Chas, we try to approach things from a very serious perspective. Well, maybe not too serious, but serious enough that we don't fake our content. We don't overreact to anything if it happens, and we just want to go and see what it's about, see if we get some feelings, because I've been in front of Annabelle, so
I
is
told,
Chastity,
yeah, we told the whole story.
and I know for a fact there are other objects there that hold much more energy than even Annabelle.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in front of them and could about not look at them at that time. And it pretty much has a lot to do with why I'm into doing it today. Like, Annabelle is pretty much the one that got me started, at least traveling to go see them, because I mean, we've always had them around us. I mean, even today I had an incredible encounter. I'll never be able to, nobody will believe me, so I'm just keeping it to myself.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
I just put retouch on. I just put a filter on my face. I didn't know you could do that. I'm listening, but I've got, like I said, a little bit of the ADD, so I disassociate.
But no, that's my thoughts on it. I mean, a lot of people think that I run into, I always get the, oh, take us with you. We want to go with you. And as soon as I start talking about the price, they get a little quiet. And it makes sense. You're not supposed to be able to do this as a hobby. unless you make a certain amount of money and have a certain amount of time off. Because if it wasn't for my job, the way that it's set up, it would be very difficult for us to do this.
Yeah,
But somehow
we keep getting it.
everything is worked out like the way it's supposed to, and I think that there's even more better to come. Like we've got a lot more that's we got so much more like coming up that's not just like ghost hunting, and I think that we have a lot to offer the world. We have a lot to offer people that want to be offered stuff.
Well, and just people, that's my thing. I've said it before, three E's: education, entertainment, enlightenment. Yes, it's entertaining, but it's all folded in to that. Like, this channel is about my paranormal investigations. The whole teaching aspect and the time that I take with other people outside and the paranormal. I donate a lot of my time and I'm okay with it. I'm not, I did it. It's my choice. And I have a passion for helping people with the paranormal. And a lot of y'all already know that, but in case anybody that doesn't, I kind of wrote like a little thing a while back about, there may be times like right now I'm planning to go on technically my first house assignment. So I've done assignments or like with my clients or helping them for a long time, but this is like my first in person assignment besides one that happened before my mom passed, for one of her clients. And I did a lot of the work after I came home. I did a lot of the work spiritually, and the woman hadn't had a problem since. And I'm not taking credit for that. Divine Spirit is the one that allows me to facilitate this. It is not me. That does it. The knowledge and everything, yeah, I store that and I figure out how to put it together, but Spirit helps it roll off my tongue. Spirit told me when I was worried about what to say when I come online, Divine Spirit told me just open my mouth and the right words will come out. And that's what I do. Like, I already knew what I wanted to talk about today, but I just let it go.
You're a dot connector.
I connect dots. Hey, just Rach.
Sorry, y'all. I know I'm lame. I've been up since 5 a.m.
I freaking got up at 7:30 this morning and I went to sleep early for me. It was like, and for me, y'all, it was like, what, 3 o'clock? And I was like, why am I up? And I stayed up for a couple of hours. And then next thing I know, I roll over and it's 4:30 p.m. But none of the kids are here. This was my editing day. So now I've got to edit all night long. But tomorrow, did I tell y'all already? Oh, there's new people in the chat. Tomorrow, we go investigate for January 2026. This is the video for January 2026. Hopefully, one day I can start bringing 2 videos a month, but financially, not possible. Not happening right now. Plus, I'm only one person, okay? Just leaving that there. But for January 2026, we are investigating a whole entire Appalachian haunted town. Eat your heart out, Sam and Colby. Okay? So.
Oh, they're not even in our league, babe.
I know, but it's funny. Other people got it. They just recently did a whole haunted city. It's a whole haunted town. So we're actually doing that. It's not because they did it. It's because we had an opportunity. We'll leave that there. But we are going to investigate, to my best of knowledge, 4 places. It's going to be kind of fast, like Penhurst was, because we had 8 hours and like 4 to 5 groups, and everybody was like switching places, and it didn't give us as much time as we would like to like set up and take our time. It was like boom, we're gone, boom, we're gone. So it was a little different for us. But yep,
I like ghosts.
my twin had a parade today and we got up early for Sunday. Oh Lord, so I bet you're ready for bread. I bet you're ready for bed, Christy. That was nice though. At least you got to see the parade. I just laid my big tail in my room in the air conditioner, and I don't know. I talked to a lot of people today. Had some conversations. Can't remember what I did. Did a little research. Now I got to get to editing. So
I communicated with some spirits out in my circle.
your daughter's holding on completely. Yeah, I get that. And I have kids like that too, where they're just like, I'm not sleepy. It's fine. I'm not going to bed.
All those days.
Yeah, and then my youngest, she used to fall asleep. She's like, Mommy, I'm hungry. I want a snack. I'm like, fine. And then she'd get the snack and she'd go lay down and take one or two bites of it and then just fall asleep.
Don't forget the dog. Like
I
remember,
done talked the dog, the cat's done made an appearance, the
remember we had to
ghost.
put her to bed with the kids.
Yeah, oh yeah, the dog. Specifically our
She would
dog,
walk back and
Onyx.
forth and annoy the crap
Yeah,
out of us till
until
we
we
put her
told
in
her to
bed.
go to bed. When all the kids went to bed, she has to be told to go to bed, and we love her too, or she gets really upset. She's a very smart dog.
She's too smart. She
They
would have.
still get whiny even at 16. Yes, they do. God, it's even worse. My daughter will be 16 in November. My son will be 14 in December, and Ivy will be 10 next year. Holding on to dear life. Dear life. It's crazy times, but I love it. Wouldn't have it any other way. You know, it took a long time and it takes people a long time, and sometimes people never find this, but you have to learn to love the skies you are under. I finally learned to do that a few years back. It took a while, but I finally learned how to do that. And that's one of the biggest issues I think a lot of people face because they can't find a place in this world. And that's understandable, especially if you're in the 3D mind frame, following the things that you see, you know, and stuff. So, but
You want to
anyways,
know what is the most toxic mind frame of all? If I give you a box of crayons and some paper, and you won't draw a picture because it don't have a blue crayon.
what he said. Um, but yeah, I get it. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I will not keep y'all any longer. It is Sunday night. I hope everybody had a restful weekend. And if you have a couple of days off, maybe tomorrow or this week, I hope you get some rest. We are in eclipse season. Things are going. So
Yep.
just remember to kind of hold space for that, ground yourself. Lots of dreams. People have been having lots of dreams. They can be quacky, wacky. I had a crazy ass dream. Some of them may be profound. Write it down. I think our solar eclipse is happening in Virgo. Neat, tidy. It's time to kind of like, it's a revolution of getting your stuff together.
You got
Um,
7 days.
yeah, and we're in eclipse season, but remember, this energy lasts for like the next 6 months. It's the theme.
It locks
But
in on the 21st for the rest of like what 20 years. It won't happen again for another 127 years or
you
something.
may be talking about the actual placement of it. But just remember, each full moon and new moon, too, like that resets a purpose. So that's the moving wheel of time.
It's called the
Um,
Crossroads of Divinity, I think.
so I don't know. It might be some planetary alignment, but just remember, hold on to your seats when stuff starts rolling. Just hold on, jump it, duck, do what you got to do. But yeah, guys, I have school now, and then yeah, that's true. Yeah, I totally get that. I remember that. Yep, eclipse season. So, guys, much love and light. We appreciate you being here. For anybody that's watching the replay, let us know if you have any questions in the comments below. It's my birthday, September 16th, this Tuesday, and the moon is in Pisces for my Virgo. So I can only imagine how strange. Yeah, so this is a big change for you. It's going to get really, it's going to be, just big changes. Change doesn't always mean bad, though. It can mean positive. It can be kind of intense at first, but it always works out the way it's supposed to. Happy birthday to Brittany as well. Brittany, if she's still in the chat, I think her birthday is tomorrow, I believe. And happy birthday to
Happy early birthday, Brittany.
Hellcat. I need to start putting my birthdays. I have all y'all's birthdays in my astrology, if y'all did astrology with me, and I need to start putting them on my calendar. So, because I want to do something cool with that too. Sounds good. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and log off, and much love and light. I will see you soon. Keep on the lookout for the Pinhurst video this Friday, and we're releasing the fourth location for Fright Night Fridays, the return. Pray for me. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to do this. I have faith. I'm going to do this. Bye.